Revenge is a dish best served with a separate check. Over a decade ago or so, when my wife, 65 female, and I, 60 male, lived in upstate New York, we lived across from a road of a nice older couple that were at least a dozen or so years senior to my wife. So we were both obviously younger at the time. While I'm out talking across the road from him, Joey, we'll call him, and Linda, decided it was a time that they invite the neighbors out to dinner. We both figured we weren't being social enough in the neighborhood, and it's good to have friendly neighbors, so we accepted with our mistaken intent. First time was a Friday evening. We were both coming directly from work, so we met at a local Italian place he raved about. One thing to know about my wife and I is that we're not huge eaters and generally don't drink when we're out because, well, driving and my wife isn't crazy about alcohol. So we order modestly, and our arrangement was to just split the bill. We order just mains and one starter my wife and I would share with them. They decide to go full bore, starting with drinks, each orders a starter, then go for mains and desserts to top it off. We quickly figured out that we were getting screwed on this deal. So we ordered desserts and the bill came in. They forked over exactly half, plus tipping on the low side. We picked up the rest. Not too pleased, but we endured, and it wasn't extremely expensive, so we let it slide and knew the lay of the land. Next time, a few weeks hence, we drove together to a place along the Hudson River and already knew that we were taking the hit on this, so I pulled Joe aside and said, hey, we'll keep an eye on the check and chip in our share because we're light eaters. Joey looked confused but caught on and begrudgingly agreed. Dinner went a little better this time, and the next, when he decided on the Chart House, and anyone who's been knows it's a bit pricey. But each time it became a contention as to how much we really owed, and my wife would give in and we'd kick in closer to half and make up the tip. The next time, he decided that we should try this place that was more money on the scale. So when our waiter addressed our table, we ordered a beverage and I excused myself to the restroom. I returned after a few minutes, trying to hold back my Cheshire cat grin. So dinner goes through our starters, mains, desserts, with Joey and Linda going overboard in their orders, thinking they'd show us how this was done. After an admittedly good meal, our waiter comes with their check and ours. The look of total horror on their faces was priceless, since they hadn't realized I arranged for our check to be tallied separately from theirs, and apparently theirs was more than double ours. Joey had this priceless look of fury and a face that was beet red with anger, knowing we totally got the upper hand and we weren't feeding into his discounted dinners. That's exactly what it is. It was some months later, after some chatting across the road, that he decided to try dinner again. And as usual, we said we'd meet him at the venue since we were coming from opposite directions due to other plans. Actually, meeting them was a comedy of faked lost cell phone signals, stopped traffic, until we finally said, you better just go ahead and order. Not sure when we'll actually get there. To this day, I don't know if they actually ate at that restaurant that night. So you just never showed up? Wow.